Motorcycles are inherently dangerous. They're small, fast, and there is a predictable image the word motorcycle conjures of a young millennial popping wheelies in traffic with no shirt on and a backwards baseball cap. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. There are a lot of risks that come with being a motorcycle rider, and for most of us, we just accept that those risks are part of the ride. So what risk is great enough for old Yammie Splooge to name the single most dangerous thing about motorcycles? Let's find out. Also, today's video was supported by the good folks over at Ridge Wallets. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about them later in this video. Now, May is the official month for motorcycle safety awareness, but since I live in an area where the season cycle is summer, hell, Antarctica, summer, bike season is already kicking off. In fact, if you guys pay attention to my Instagram, then you'll know that we've already had sunny days that are almost 80 degrees here in DFW. Now, for those who don't live in the supposed promised land of Texas, I pity you. The place where it's flat, hot, and who knows if that dude in the pickup truck has a gun or not. Sure, it's snowing in Arizona, Oklahoma, and basically everywhere north of Texas, but not here. No, down here we bask in the sauna of summer. So yes, it's getting warmer here, which means that motorcycles are starting to hit the road in greater numbers. Please, for the love of Rossi, pay attention. I was out the other day, and within 10 minutes of being on the road, I saw a man reading a newspaper propped against the center of his steering wheel, a woman putting on mascara, and I can't even tell you how many people I saw looking down at the phone in their lap. That's not even the worst part. The worst part is that this is the norm. Except for the guy with the newspaper. Who buys newspapers anymore? It's 2019, my dude. They've got digital subscriptions for that. Regardless of how you're reading your newspaper or if you read one at all, you shouldn't be doing it during your morning commute. I appreciate the funnies as much as the next person, but there's a time and a place, and in your car while you're piloting it is not it. And don't hit me with that Kindle propped up where your infotainment is meant to live. That's honestly a worse crime than people reading newspapers while driving, which is such an anachronistic experience, isn't it? As riders, we're used to this. If you're a new rider, you will get used to this, and that means learning to ride defensively. More defensively than those baby Trump tweets read. Yeah, I'm talking that defensively. Unfortunately, a motorcycle can do absolutely everything right and still end up in an accident. Why? Because we're not the only ones on the road. And that brings us to the single most dangerous thing about riding a motorcycle: not paying attention. Here's the thing. You aren't the only one who has to pay attention when you're out for a ride. As a side note, you're also not the only person who has to pay attention to and for when you're out for a ride. And I'm not speaking about riding two up or anything like that, even though you should exercise the utmost caution when riding two up, especially in these incredibly ADD-addled times that we live in, where people are more than happy to try to reach a new high score in Candy Crush rather than pay attention to the 2-ton aluminum tank that they're piloting at 70 miles per hour. Motorcycles are obviously harder to see than cars, but it isn't just because they're smaller than cars. People are just not paying attention when they see motorcycles on the road. This goes doubly for places where motorcycles are more rare, like here in Texas, for example. A safety study tested a group of drivers by having them look at pictures and identify randomly placed motorcycles. 65% of the study participants missed the motorcycle on the road. Basically, that means that there's a 35% chance that you'll be seen on your bike. I don't like those odds. Now, don't worry, I won't tell you that you need to become a high-vis uncle from Cycle Gear wearing mom jeans in order to survive on the streets. Papa Yam is a radical, but even he can't condone such wildly unpalatable fashion choices. The same group of drivers was then given a different set of photos to look at. This time they were asked to identify a randomly placed taxi. The taxi was on a random photo, but it was actually in the same spot the motorcycle was. Only 31% of study participants missed seeing the taxi. Now, what caused a fluctuation of 34%? Attentional blindness. Surprisingly, a lot of motorcycle accidents are considered LBFTS crashes. Again, fear not, Papa won't make some questionable LGBTQ joke here as well, because we're inclusive, by God, and I'll be damned if I don't convince people from all walks of life to swing a leg over a motorcycle and try out this insanity that we all love. What this actually stands for is looked but failed to see. These are accidents that occur when a driver checks the mirror and blind spots before changing lanes or turning and report that they did not see the motorcycle they end up crashing into. Now, I may have a fancy economics degree, but for this video I brought in the big guns. For these stats, I went straight to Harvard. Well, I didn't actually go to Harvard, but I did find research that came from Harvard. Lord knows I don't have the credentials to attend such a prestigious institution, but I am hoping that one day they will assign an honorary doctorate for me for shitposting on the internet. Wouldn't that be nice? Hell, I could probably get my audience to send emails to Harvard asking for that one on my behalf, but that would certainly be an abuse of my meager influence and following on the internet. No, this Harvard study comes to us specifically from psychological scientist Michael Cohen, not that same Michael Cohen, George Alvarez, and Ken Nakayama. After conducting numerous rounds of experiments, those smart people discovered that people don't automatically perceive the elements of their environment. So just because you look around the room you're in, that doesn't mean you'll see or notice, rather, everything that's in that room with you. In fact, unless you make it a point to pay attention, your perception, recall, and reaction to your surroundings will vary greatly. Part of that means adjusting your attentional set. Your attentional set is a preconceived set of cues you focus on that are directly relevant to the task you're performing. For people driving a car, that's things like looking for brake lights, blinkers, signs indicating lane closures, etc. Unfortunately, it looks like most drivers on the road are not including motorcycles in their attentional sets. Now, that's a major problem for those of us who are riding around without roll cages to protect our fragile little bodies. So, how can you help your fellow riders keep safe? Well, for starters, ditch the phones when you're riding or driving. I know those billboards your mobile carrier puts up are cheesy, but seriously, it's just not worth it. I myself, since I own a car that was made in 2014 but somehow doesn't have Bluetooth audio streaming, have to use an auxiliary cable like an absolute pro. Combined with the fact that it also has a patrician 6-speed manual transmission the way God intended, and that makes it a vehicle that's basically designed for you to not use your phone or mobile device while you're driving. Basically, what I'm saying is that you need a crap box with a manual transmission and no Bluetooth like me in order to be safe. For those of you who have not ventured into riding a two-wheeled hellhound, it may be a little more difficult for you to add motorcycles into your conscious driving habits. But difficult does not mean impossible, so let's check out this short list of ways you can be more conscious of motorcycle riders. Oh no, Yammie snuck a list video into this essay video. He's at it again. Mind blown. I bet you didn't see that coming. I certainly didn't. He's a slippery son of a bitch, isn't he? That dang Yammie Noob is at it again. The infinite hustle of this boy. When you're on a motorcycle, you have a responsibility to pay attention, ride responsibly, and keep your safety and the safety of those around you at the forefront of your mind every single moment you're on that bike. As the driver of a car or truck, you have the same responsibility. You're responsible for paying attention, focusing solely on the task at hand, and consciously checking for motorcycles on the road. You already check for cars, so it's not like I'm asking you to make a heavy lift here. All I'm asking is for you to be a decent human being and not smear some poor, unsuspecting motorcyclist along the highway just because you had to answer that text from your Aunt Sally. Alright, let's check a few things that drivers can do to add motorcycles to their attentional sets, and let's make the road a safer place in general. Number 1. Stay at least 2 car lengths behind a motorcycle. To calculate this, find an object up ahead like a tree, start counting when the motorcycle passes the tree, and make sure you don't pass it until at least 4 seconds later. Really, you should be putting at least a car length between you and other cars, so it should come pretty natural to do this, but using the 3 to 4 seconds of distance rather than pure car lengths make it safer because you're taking into account your reaction time. By creating some additional space between you and the rider, you've given yourself and the rider a longer response time, meaning if anything goes wrong or anything unexpected happens, you've created a buffer between you that increases the chance of both you driving away without incident. Number 2. Pay attention if it is raining. If it's raining, know that any motorcyclists you encounter are likely going to be riding a lot slower than usual. Riding in the rain can be scary and dangerous, especially for new riders. Wet roads require extra focus when you're on a motorcycle, especially since there's no windshield protecting us from the rain. Now be respectful of that. When you're in a car, you're protected from the rain, so slow down and give riders some space. If the roads are wet, you should definitely make it a point to keep those 2 car lengths between you. Even if it might be frustrating, don't crowd a rider during inclement weather, and try not to get frustrated and start tailgating them if they aren't going as fast as you think they should. It's a lot harder to ride when you're getting battered by rain than it is to sit in a captain's chair blasting Adele and complaining because your windscreen is fogging up a little bit. Number 3, give motorcyclists the right of way at intersections. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this one, but in 2013, 44% of 2-vehicle fatal motorcycle accidents were the result of a car trying to turn left while the motorcycle went straight. That means that people are literally dying simply because people are trying to turn left. Come on, guys. And for our Euro bros and folks abroad who drive on the opposite side of the street, when someone turns left on a motorcycle without checking, it's like when someone turns right on you guys. If you encounter a motorcyclist at an intersection, just wait, let them turn, or go straight. Sometimes hand signals aren't as clear as they should be, blinkers aren't used, etc. There are a lot of variables at play, so it's better to just play it safe than be sorry later. Number 4, watch your blind spots. Because of a motorcycle's size, they are super easy to miss if they're in your blind spot. Don't just do an obligatory glance back. Pay attention and actually make sure of what's in your blind spots. Number 5, Be nice. Don't be a prick when you see a motorcyclist changing positions within a lane or leaning into curves. Riders do those things for a reason, and it's not to show off. Be nice. Share the road. Motorcyclist lives matter. And for my fellow riders out there, remember to ride invisibly, wear your gear, and exercise caution at all times. Recognize your vulnerabilities and ride accordingly. Now, the other thing you're going to want to do is be sure to check out Ridge wallets. They've happily supported this video. Several of the folks on our Discord server have not only purchased them because they love the Yam so much, but have also received a few free ones along the way because they participated in our giveaways. Basically, what you need to know about Ridge is that they make the finest wallet that money can buy, and given its indestructible nature, it's the last wallet you'll need. Right now, fans of the Yam can get 10% off by using the code Yammie at checkout and using the link below, so help support the channel. Go and check them out. Ridge wallet seriously makes one of the best wallets. I use it myself every day. I love it. I always get compliments about it, so go and check it out. And if you haven't yet, be sure to check out our beginner bike giveaway series. Seriously, we've got a fresh FZ07 ready to give away, and only one person will win it. If you're interested in learning how you can enter for free, or you'd like to join up on our Patreon for additional chances to win, support the series, or chat with me on our Discord server, click the link below and check it out. Now that's going to do it for today's video. What do you guys think? Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments below. I always love hearing from you. And you already know the drill. Click subscribe, Turbo Busa or die. I'm giving away bikes and I sure do appreciate likes. I'll catch you guys next time. See you later. Fact. Citizens of the Soviet Union began celebrating the defeat of Germany in World War II as soon as it was announced. Less than 24 hours later, the entire country was out of vodka. Goodbye.